A few months ago, I had the privilege of watching a beautiful piece of animation called Over the Garden Wall. And after watching the whole series, Over the Garden Wall is quite possibly my favorite pieces of animation. The animated miniseries has an amazing story and very interesting mystery, going in multiple different directions and at times can be very random. But in a good way. The animation is truly beautiful. It can be bright and sunny, and it can be dark and dreary. The setting and atmosphere of Over the Garden Wall is perfect. Everything has this mid-1800s American folklore Bioshock Infinite feel to it. And to be quite honest, that is probably my favorite time period. Also, the soundtrack and music of Over the Garden Wall is absolutely amazing. Every song has a massive amount of effort put into it to make it sound very old-timey, yet very nice sounding. Over the Garden Wall is simply one of the most original works of animation out there. And after reviewing the series, I have decided to make multiple videos speaking and discussing the series. In the future, I will talk about what everything means and what the unknown is. But before we get to that, I should talk about the series' use of Easter eggs and hidden things, as well as just interesting facts people might have missed. There are a ton of these riddled throughout the episodes. Today, I will present a list of the top 15 things you may have missed in the amazing series Over the Garden Wall. Also, spoiler alert. Number 1. The intro. The intro to the first episode of Over the Garden Wall foreshadows many of the events to come, and I strongly advise you to take another look at it after watching the series. It is filled with a lot of things that will make you go, "Oh, that's what that meant." We first see Greg's frog, which would later be named Jason Thunderburker, singing and narrating. This frog playing a piano while narrating scene is seen at the beginning and the end of the series, implying that the whole Over the Garden Wall story is simply a recollection by Jason Thunderburker, the frog. We next can see Beatrice in her human form before she was transformed into a bluebird. Because it appears Beatrice is angry, it is implied that this scene takes place moments before Beatrice throws a rock at the bluebird seen in the distance. As Beatrice recollects, this bluebird then cursed her soon after, turning her and her whole family also into bluebirds. We can also see Beatrice's dog, which would become the main antagonist of the first episode, as it was misidentified as the Beast. Next, we can see a black cat riding a cart being pulled by giant turkeys. This is in fact the true appearance of Enoch, the mayor of Pottsfield, as revealed to us by the ending scene to the final Over the Garden Wall episode. The whole time, Enoch was just a black cat wearing a pumpkin-like costume. In this scene, Enoch is most likely collecting pumpkins for his townfolk to wear in the future Harvest Festival, a job that would later be given to Wart, Greg, and Beatrice in the episode Hard Times at the Husk and Bee. In the next scene, we can spot the same circus Jimmy Brown worked in. We can see him in the background dressed as a gorilla. This circus would also be featured in the series finale, where Jimmy Brown can be seen watching along with Miss Langtree, Mr. Langtree, and the animal students. Next, we can see toy versions of the tavern patrons, most likely created by the toy maker himself. These toy versions of the patrons would later be spotted again in the finale, as we can see toy versions of Greg and Wirt are added by the toy maker. Next, we can see Quincy Endicott being frightened by Margaret Gray. If you actually freeze frame the shadow that quickly runs across the walls, we can tell that this shadow indeed belongs to Margaret. We can next spot Adelaide of the Pasture, the character that promised Beatrice a pair of magic scissors that would later turn her and her family back into humans. Next, we can see two children with a wind-up toy boat, which pays a resemblance to the river boat which would later be seen in later episodes. It is unknown what exactly this scene means. It may be a hint that the whole unknown may simply be a playful imagination of two children, but again, we cannot be for certain. Lorna can be seen arranging the bones of former victims of her illness. This would later be referenced by Auntie Whispers in a future episode.
You shall sort the bones of those who have been eaten here before.
I have finished already.
Then clean this floor.
The Fisher Fish can be seen, a character that would later help Beatrice save Wirt from drowning. We can next spot Greg stealing the rock in Miss Daniel's yard, something Greg later confesses doing.
I mean, my rock fixed rock.
What?
I stole it, Wirt. I stole it from Mrs. Daniel's garden. I'm a stealer, and that's a rock fact.
Finally, we can spot the woodsman and his daughter outside a small wooden house. As the woodsman is busy chopping wood, his daughter looks out into the unknown, possibly hinting of her capture by the beast. It is implied that the woodsman's daughter will soon be tricked into becoming an Edelwood tree by the beast, just like Greg was later in the story. This act would enable the beast to trick the woodsman into believing her soul was dying, and could be put in the Dark Lantern, keeping her alive. After the opening credits play, we can also get some narration concerning the unknown. As this narration plays, we can get multiple strange flashes of mysterious silhouettes. The first shape/silhouette is of a bird-like creature. This is probably the silhouette of Beatrice. The next silhouette seems to be a creature with a snout. This could indeed be the dog seen in episode 1. And the last shape may be the shape of the woodsman, as we can spot a backpack-like object on the shape's back, similar to the stack of sticks the woodsman keeps on his back in the series. Number 2. Over the Garden Wall hired multiple famous voice actors and singers to voice various characters throughout the series. Dipper Pine sounded like Elijah Woods, famous for his role as Frodo in the Lord of the Rings movie series, voiced work. Colin Dean, the voice actor that provided the voice of Greg, also provides the voice for Adventure Time's Tiffany.
Well, we're both friends with Jake. I mean, that's something, right?
I was friends with Jake, then some baritone herb stole him away from me. Wirt, you tricked me! I didn't know this was a frog hunt all along.
Famous actor Christopher Lloyd, best known for his role as Doc in Back to the Future, voiced the woodsman.
Everyone has a torch to burn, and this here is mine.
I was frozen today!
Famous 1960s singer Jack Jones provided the singing and narrating voice of Greg's frog. John Cleese, famous for his roles in the Monty Python series, provided the voice of Adelaide in Quincy Edicott. And famous actor Tim Curry voiced Auntie Whispers.
Come home, Auntie.
Lorna, my sweet child. Has anyone come here today?
Nay, Auntie, not a soul.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
Well, Mike Hanlon said I had to go, said I had to get cleaned up.
Number 3. If you listen closely during the intro of every episode except the first, a train whistle can be distinctly heard. This train is probably a reference to the train that almost kills Wirt and Greg, sending them into the unknown in the first place. Number 4. Multiple times throughout the episodes, there have been very subtle Easter eggs inside the various songs throughout the series. One example of this can be seen in the episode Schooltown Follies, while, during lunch, Mrs. Langtry is playing the piano. If you listen closely, Miss Langtry is playing Patient is the Night, a song heard in the previous episode.
Oh, what's the matter? Kinda bland.
Hey, nobody ordered you to eat yet.
Yeah, but...
Oh.
Among the fields of straw and stover, clocked in till the work day's over. Time's a gentle stream, longer than it seems. Patient is the night. How long to see her face now? Her starry moonlit gaze now. I know she's never late. Still anxiously I wait. Patient is the night.
Another example of this can be seen in the Beast song, Come Wayward Souls. Believe it or not, this song is sung at the same tune as O Holy Night. If you omit the lyrics to Wayward Souls, you could clearly sing the lyrics of O Holy Night in the same tune.
Come, wayward souls, who wander through the darkness. There is a light for the lost and the meek.
Number 5. In Episode 2, Hard Times at Huskin B, the two boys, Wirt and Greg, travel to a town named Pottsfield. The name Pottsfield is most likely a reference to Potter's Field, a term referring to a place used for the burial of the unknown. A Potter's Field would often be used in times of war, such as during the Civil War. The name Pottsfield was probably a hint to the town's reanimated folk. In Episode 9, Wirt and Greg go through a graveyard. Engraved on the tombstone Greg leans on is the name Quincy Edicott. This is a name shared by one of the characters in The Unknown. Also, the skull on the tombstone pays a resemblance to the skull on the title card of every episode. The tombstone may be hinting that the inhabitants of the unknown are souls of the deceased, and the unknown is a type of afterlife. If this were true, this would answer why there appears to be many people from many different time periods in the unknown. Don't worry, things like this will later be discussed in future videos of mine. Number 7. Throughout the series, Greg's frog is given a grand total of 10 different names, before settling on Jason Thunderburger. Number 8. In Episode 9, Jason Thunderburger asks to hold Sarah's hand. After Sarah rejects his offer, one of Sarah's friends says,
You can let go of my hand now.
Oh, yeah. You can hold my hand, Thunderburger, I don't care.
In Episode 10, we can later see Jason and the girl holding hands as she promised. Number 9. The character Jason Thunderburger was inspired by the creator Patrick McHale himself during his high school years. Number 10. Over the Garden Wall had to undergo many changes over the years before it was released in 2014. The earliest incarnation of the antagonistic character, the Beast, appeared in 2006, before even the concept of the unknown had been created. Early concept art reveals that the Beast was once a character named Old Scratch. The Beast would later be changed to a more terrifying design in the future. Other characters went into a great deal of change as well. In 2006, Wirt was originally named Walter and had a completely different appearance compared to the final Wirt design. Other things had to be changed too. For example, the Unknown was originally called The In-Between, and a song by the name of Oh Come With Us was ultimately removed from the completed project. Number 11. The Highwayman's song and dance is highly inspired by Cab Calloway's Minnie the Moocher.
Just like any man, I work with my hands. If you cross my path, I'll knock you out, drag you off the road, steal your shoes from off your feet, and then highwayman, when I'm making
Number 12. In Episode 10, after Wirt and Greg are taken to the hospital, we are shown an overview of Wirt and Greg's hometown. Funny enough, this town pays a striking resemblance to the town featured in another Cartoon Network show, Clarence. Number 13. In Episode 9, we can spot many interesting things in Wirt's room. A book on interior architecture can be seen on the ground. This explains why Wirt knows so much about architecture in the episode Mad Love. Next, we can spot a poster with a black turtle on it. This turtle pays a resemblance to the multiple other black turtles seen throughout The Unknown. We can also spot a toy train, possibly a reference to the train that later almost kills Wirt and Greg. A couple of cassette tapes can also be seen on Wirt's desk. One cassette tape reads 3 Non-Blondes. This is possibly a reference to the band 4 Non-Blondes. Because the band 4 Non-Blondes was formed in 1989 and was only known for one song, What's Up, released in 1994, we are able to deduce that the story of Over the Garden Wall takes place post-1994. Also, the song that plays over this scene sings, You're Sinking Like a Stone. This may be foreshadowing Wirt and Greg's near drowning in a river, later seen in the same episode. epilogue to the Over the Garden Wall series is filled with as much sequence as the intro was. It is important to notice that there is a change in the unknown. No longer is it autumn, it is now winter, and everything is covered in snow. We witnessed this change in episode 8, as the unknown started to get colder and windier. Alright, first we can see the woodsman has returned to the empty house, referenced by the beast earlier in the episode.
Woodsman, are you really ready to go back to that empty house?
We can see he gains a happy ending as his daughter is returned to him as a result of defeating the beast. Again, we can spot the fisherfish from episode 8 and the intro, catching a black turtle. We can also see Lorna and Auntie Whispers are happy once again. Lorna can be seen reading a book called Tome of the Unknown. This is a reference to the original episode of Over the Garden Wall. We can see multiple other characters in their happy endings. One of them being Beatrice, who has once again taken human form, and along with her family has returned to their mill house, the same mill house that the woodsman used to make oil for the lantern. And by far the strangest clip we can see in the epilogue is of a frog emerging from underground, taking a breath and going back underground. Judging by the similar randomness of this scene to the scene seen in the intro, it can be inferred that this frog is also a reference to episode 7. As we can see, this frog is unlike the frog seen in that episode. The frog probably is not intelligent and does not wear any clothes. This frog is probably just a normal frog. Again, this may be a hint telling us that the scenes with the frogs on the boat in episode 7 never happened, and it's all just some kid's imagination, imagining frogs, such as this one, on their toy boat. And number 15, the final fact/thing you may have missed, is the large amount of time Over the Garden Wall had to go through development. The creator, Patrick McHale, envisioned the show in 2004, and later pitched the show to Cartoon Network in 2006. During this time, McHale originally struggled to create the right art style for the series. He would later add and remove multiple ideas, songs, and characters, until finally, after over a decade of development, would release Over the Garden Wall on November 3rd, 2014. Alright, that's all the time we have for today. Stay tuned for more Over the Garden Wall episodes in the future.